I got the results of the game, guys. Alabama won the game 27-24. This was a back and forth matchup, man. Alabama was up at the half, but Georgia was able to fight back. And like I knew, the game wasn't over yet. Georgia fought hard to try to come back in this game, man, and came down close at the end. But Alabama was able to beat the Georgia Bulldogs, and I'm just read off the ending stats. Jalen Miro, he had 23 attempts for with 13 completions for 192 yards, and he had two touchdowns. He ended the game with 29 yards rushing. Rodell Williams had 64 yards on the ground rushing. He was able to get a touchdown. Isaiah Bond, he had 79 yards receiving. Came in on the clutch at the end of the game, man. Jalen Miro was hitting his checkdowns at the end of the game. Uh, would have been interesting if he had been doing that the whole game, man. But Isaiah Bond is a key asset in this Alabama offense, man. Uh, Georgia just didn't have an answer for him at the end. Uh, Jam Miller, he had 28 yards receiving and a touchdown. He also had 23 rushing touchdowns. Um, Jermaine Burton, he had 28 receiving yards as well with a touchdown. Alabama ended the game with 114 yards rushing and 192 yards passing. So um, stout Georgia defense, man. Georgia held us to 2.8 yards a carry, man. So they really shut our run game all the way down. Um, but Alabama was just getting, maybe 2 or 3 yards here and there, you know. But really, really good win over a very, very good Georgia defense. Really, really good Georgia team. Alabama upset the number one team in the country. And just read off Carson Beck's stats, man. He actually had a good day passing. It wasn't consistent, Uh, Alabama gave up some busted plays, but he did, get 243 yards passing. He went 29. He had 29 attempts out of 21 completions. So no passing touchdown. Kendall Milton was the only guy that was able to get the two touchdowns for Georgia. He had 13 carries for 42 yards. He was averaging 3.2 yards a carry. So he had two touchdowns. That's a key stat. I felt like coming into this matchup, the way to beat Georgia, you gotta stop the run, man. And Alabama did a phenomenal job of stopping the run in this matchup, and that gave them opportunity to win this matchup. Carson Beck, for the most part, wasn't comfortable for most of the game, really. Alabama defensive line and the offensive line pretty much handled Georgia for most of the game. It was shocking to me that Alabama was able to be more physical up front. Brock Bowers, he only finished the game with 53 yards receiving, zero touchdowns. Um, you could tell that he was injured, like he was a full 100%, but still, it's no excuse. Uh, they also have Oscar Depp. He only had 4 yards, receiving on only on one reception. So Brock Bowers, main target, and Alabama stopped him pretty much. Arian Smith, 51 yards, no passing touchdowns from anybody. Ladd McConkey, only 38 yards. He was limping, but there can't be an excuse for Georgia. It's a lot of guys on that team. Uh, Marcus Rosemary Jensen, he only had 30 yards receiving. He's another guy they could have used. I'm surprised they didn't use Dylan Bell. I mean, he didn't. He only had two receptions for 15 yards. So, but a huge win for the Alabama Crimson Tide, man. Just huge win. Like I said, Georgia was able to score twice in the fourth quarter. Um, just they had like two big plays. That's the majority of where their yards came from. Just two big plays, and that put them in position to score. But to be honest, Alabama had this game in hand, man. Really, Alabama probably could have won this game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Jalen Miro left a lot of points on the board, in my opinion. A lot of guys were wide open in the end zone, and he just didn't see them. But Alabama could have definitely won bigger than what they did. But nevertheless, I'll take it. It's a win over the number 1 team in the country, and Georgia ain't got nothing to hold their head down for, man. I mean, to go on a 29 game win streak, man, that's just phenomenal for the Georgia Bulldogs, and they have nothing to hold their heads down for. As for my Alabama Crystal Tide, I'm so excited that we got this victory. A lot of people doubted Alabama, so but Alabama won their conference, and I don't know how the rankings are going to go, but I think Alabama got a say-so, to prove that they can possibly get in the playoffs. But that only remains to be seen. But if we don't, I'm just happy that Alabama won their conference, and it's a huge victory. But that's all I have for the stats. Please like and share and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.